Today we're talking about the Kaweco Brass Sport. I have had a mixed experience with this pen, and I'm doing this video right now as opposed to planning it more because I think I'm going to have to return this again. I went for a double broad nib in this. Lovely, juicy nib. And I've no problems with Kaweco as a brand, but you do hear a lot about their quality control, which seems to be an issue for a lot of people. I really wanted to love this pen. I saw a lot of videos by a YouTuber called Adventure Denali. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she loves her Brass Sport. She takes it everywhere. She had one stolen and she replaced it. She loved it that much. And she spoke about holding it in her hand and it being a really good kind of comfort pen. And I do get that, I feel that. And I wanted to love it because her aesthetic's so great, and I don't know, she just made me fall in love with the idea of the Brass Sport. But it's a very, very heavy pen, which I guess you would have guessed because it's brass, but it then means that writing with it for a long amount of time tends to tire your wrist out if you have, I suppose I have weak wrists. But also I can't hold it the way I would usually hold a Kaweco Sport. I have to kind of choke up on it a bit, choke off it. I'm not sure, but either way, I have to hold it higher up than I usually would do, which doesn't feel bad at all. But like I say, after a while it gets a bit heavy, and I was fine with that because, you know, journaling aesthetic, and it's made of brass, which patina's lovely over time. My previous one had patinaed quite nicely before I returned it. Shout out to Cult Pens, by the way. Their customer service is impeccable. I got that pen for Christmas and they replaced it. This is now March and they still replaced it, which is, shout out. You're wonderful. You always take the time to make sure I'm happy with what I've got. So thank you, Cult Pens. Not affiliated, not sponsored. But yeah, it patinaed quite nicely and I was enjoying the way it had patinaed, you know, individually, specifically to me. But my main problem was that the cap is, in a regular sport, for context, in a regular sport, you have a plastic insert inside the top of the cap that catches all the drips and stuff, which is nice. And in the Brass Sport you don't, which I guess is because it's made of brass and quite, you know, the nib's quite close to the end, but this finial isn't sealed in any way and it is open to the body of the cap, so if there's any drips that get in here from the pen, they eventually kind of like seep out of this finial. If you put water in it, it just drips straight out, drip, 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 which really bugs me. Like it's something I could maybe have lived with the previous one, but Cult Pens offered to replace it, so I thought, oh, it won't be an issue with the next one. But it's the same in this, so I'm assuming it might be some kind of design fault with Brass Sports in general. It's such a beautiful pen. It's such a beautiful pen and I want to love it. But honestly, this is just as good, if not better. It's nice to hold in the hand as well. I can hold this in the same way like that YouTuber holds hers for comfort. Like I can hold this for comfort just as fine. Don't necessarily need the weight of the metal. You know, the cap's sealed. And I wanted to love this so much, I bought the premium nib for it. And honestly, that just fits in the plastic sport no problem. Although they tell you that it doesn't, but that's for another video. I live near a school, I don't know if you can tell. I hope I've not just doxed myself. Better keep this short then. Yeah, I think I might end up returning this again, which makes me really, really sad. What are you going to do? Apologies for the poor audio quality in that previous part. Just trying out a new microphone. Yeah, the Sport, it was a good writer, and like I say, I really wanted to love it. I also have had problems with these and the Kaweco cartridge converters. They don't seem to stick into the section quite as well as in the plastic sports, and more than once I had it come apart from the section in my pocket and opened it up to find it and pop it back in again. Same with what do you call them, cartridges. That's it. Same with cartridges as well. It's odd. I find myself wanting to excuse this pen of a lot of its misgivings because I want to like it, and that's just not going to make me happy as a user. So I'm going to stop doing that, and like I said, I'm probably going to return this again. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you later.